Montessori Grandma. Episode 32. The Story of Plants.
The Story of Plants, a Montessori story related to botany, written and presented by Geeta Vijayachandran. The Story of Plants. This story serves as an introduction to the plant kingdom in the elementary classroom. Although the children have already worked with plants and flowers earlier, the story sparks their interest. We can say the story in the garden or use pictures of different plants to say the story. This is a story I wrote. Let us start the story. Viku was playing in the garden when he heard soft whispering. He looked around, but no one was in sight. The whispering went on and on, but Viku could see no one. He told his sisters about the strange whispering. Viku and the three girls looked around. They could not find anyone. That's strange, said Ammu. There is something fishy going on here, said Adu. We can't see anyone, but we can hear someone. Maybe there are invisible creatures around, said Chinnu. Or ghosts, said Viku. Finally, Chinnu found the source of the whispers. The tree was talking to the green algae. Viku, Chinnu, Adya, and Ammu listened in wonder. The tree was saying, I'm strong and powerful. I'm the greatest in this world. I have roots that go down into the soil and a trunk that holds up all the branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits. The green algae looked up at the big tree. The green algae said, though small, I'm very important. I make much of Earth's oxygen, which humans and other animals need. I have no stems or leaves, and have roots that are different from yours. I can live all over the world. Some of us, like seaweeds, look like plants. However, we are neither plants nor animals. Instead, we belong to a kingdom of living things called protists. Here are some of my family members: ciliated protozoa, flagellated protozoa, amoeboid protozoa, red algae, brown algae, and green algae. The tree continued boasting of his abilities. My fruits are food for animals and humans. My seeds can grow new plants. I give shade to people. I provide wood to make houses. The tree went on and on. The little algae did not want to lose the argument. It asked some moss lying close by for help. They were good friends, and Moss wanted to help algae. Moss looked at the tree, whose head stood high up in the sky. It shouted, You may be big, but I am older than you. I belong to the plant kingdom like you. We should respect the cousins who left us. What do you mean, cousins who left us? Asked the tree. The moss said, At one time, all living things were placed in two kingdoms, animals and plants. The organisms known as fungi also were once considered to be plants because they reproduce by spores. They have a cell wall just like us. But the fungi, however, uniformly lack chlorophyll and they are heterotrophic. That is, they depend on other plants for food. They are chemically distinct from plants. Thus, they are placed in a separate kingdom called fungi. Protists left the plant kingdom some time ago, and now both of them have their own kingdoms. Here are some members of the fungi kingdom. Kingdom? How many kingdoms are there? Asked Tree. Moss knew so much and wanted to show off her knowledge. Yes, all living things belong to a kingdom. At first, there were only 5 kingdoms of living things, but now there are 6. A kingdom called Monera includes all types of bacteria. But now, Monera has been split into 2 kingdoms, the Archaebacteria and the Eubacteria. Moss continued. Archaebacteria are single-celled organisms originally thought to be bacteria. The cell wall composition of these extreme organisms allows them to live in some very inhospitable places, such as hot springs and hydrothermal vents. Some species can also be found in the guts of animals and humans. Tree listened in wonder. Eubacteria are considered to be true bacteria. Bacteria live in almost every type of environment and are often associated with disease. Most bacteria, however, do not cause disease. Bacteria are microscopic organisms, said Moss. The next kingdom is called Animal Kingdom. The animals depend on plants and other organisms for nutrition. Most animals live in aquatic environments and range in size from tiny tardigrades, that is water bears, to the extremely large blue whale. Most animals reproduce by sexual reproduction, which involves fertilization. The 2 major groups of animals are vertebrates and invertebrates, continued Moss. There are so many animals around. The butterflies and bees who come and rest on us are animals. The birds who make their nests on us are also animals. The fish in the water, the frogs, and the snakes that slither around are animals too. The children who come to play here belong to the animal kingdom. Moss paused to take a deep breath. We belong to the plant kingdom, continued Moss. Moss was so proud as it knew so much more than the tree. Tree was not aware of the details of the plant kingdom. All it knew was that it was tall, strong, and could grow up to the sky. Also, that most of them have flowers and fruits. Wanted to know more about plants that came before him. Tree asked Moss, Moss, you said you were the first plant on land. Can you tell me more about our plant kingdom? Moss said, most of us have a waxy layer on our surface that protects us and keeps us from drying out. The earliest plants resembled my cousins called liverworts, said Moss. Then came plants that resemble ferns. The ferns are a group of vascular plants, that is, plants with xylem and phloem, that reproduce via spores and have neither seeds nor flowers. Plants cover much of the land on planet Earth. We are everywhere. Plant kingdom includes grass, flowers, bushes, ferns, mosses, trees like you, to mention a few. Tree, all of us must respect others, whether they belong to another kingdom or our own kingdom. Size and age doesn't matter, said Moss. Sorry, Moss. I did not want to hurt anyone's feelings. Please continue, pleaded Tree. We plants are made of cells. We have eukaryotic cells with rigid cell walls. Some of us reproduce with spores and some with sex cells, said Moss. There are many different types of plants. Plants are typically divided into 2 major groups, vascular and non-vascular. Vascular plants have special tissues called xylem and phloem that carry water and food throughout the plant. These plants also have roots, stems, and leaves. Vascular plants include herbaceous plants, shrubs, and trees like yew. Herbaceous plants have soft stems. Shrubs and trees have woody stems. Moss paused. Non-vascular plants do not have xylem or phloem tubes. They also lack true roots, stems, and leaves. Non-vascular plants include moss like me, liverworts, and hornworts. We are generally small and grow in moist places, Moss explained. How do plants manage their food, or who helps them? Asked the tree. Plants cannot move, but they need food to survive and grow, said Moss. Plants are the most independent living things on earth. They make their own food without any help from people. Plants use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide in the air to make their food. And this process of making food is called photosynthesis. Photo, which means light, and synthesis means putting together. The three basic parts of most vascular plants are the leaf, the stem, and the roots. The leaf is an organ of a plant that is specialized for photosynthesis. Leaves capture energy from sunlight as well as collect carbon dioxide from the air. Leaves come in many different textures, colors, shapes, and sizes. Our leaves are made of tiny cells, said Moss. If we look at the structure of our cells, we will find that inside these cells there is a small part called chloroplasts. Each chloroplast contains a green substance called chlorophyll, which actually absorbs energy from sunlight. The roots of almost all plants grow underground. Roots help to keep plants from falling over. They gather water and minerals from the soil. Some plants store food in their roots. The two major types of roots are fibrous roots and tap roots. Tap roots tend to have one major root that grows very deep. Fibrous roots have many roots that grow in all directions. The stem is the main structure that supports leaves and flowers. Stems have vascular tissues that move food and water around us to help us grow. They are called xylem and phloem. We often store food in our stems. Plants have beautiful flowers that attract insects, said Moss. The tree looked around at the flowers. What a variety of colors! The moss continued. The flowers always keep inviting the birds and insects. She keeps nectar and powder ready for them. Her bright colors attract insects and birds. When insects visit flowers, they drink the nectar. While doing this, their body gets dusted by the pollens. The insect leaves happily after filling its belly. The insect then visits another flower to get more nectar. While doing this, the pollen from its body falls on the parts of the second flower. In this way, pollination and fertilization takes place. Most vascular plants reproduce by seeds, said Moss. Most seed-bearing plants grow flowers. Fruits grow from flowers, and almost all seeds grow inside the fruits. Some vascular plants do not grow flowers or fruits. Plants like conifers form their seeds inside cones. Conifers include pines, spruces, firs, and similar trees and shrubs. Non-vascular plants reproduce by spores. A few kinds of vascular plants, such as ferns, also reproduce by spores. Moss continued. Now, can you tell me about your family, Moss? Moss was tired, but was happy to talk about her family. We are small, flowerless green plants that lack true roots. We grow in damp habitats. We reproduce by means of spores released from stalked capsules. We are a type of non-vascular plant and can grow in many different environments. Let me sum up about plants, said the tree. We plants are vital for life on earth. We provide food for people and animals. We also make oxygen that other living things breathe. Animals get many types of food, drinks, and flavorings from plants. People build houses from wood and many other parts of plants. People also burn wood for heat and energy. Many of the fibers used to make cloth comes from plants, especially cotton. Other useful things that is made from plants include medicines, paper, chewing gum, cork, rubber, and cocoa butter. People also use flowers for decoration. The tree was happy to boast about the work of plants. Thank you, Moss, for telling me so much about plants and other kingdoms, said Tree. Here is a picture of evolution of land plants, said Moss. I was so ignorant of all my predecessors. Thank you, liverworts, hornworts, ferns, conifers, and flowering plants for being in my kingdom. I now know how small I am compared to all of you. Tree decided to live in harmony with all the living organisms on earth. The four children were dumbstruck. They couldn't believe what they heard and what they saw. They had heard a few facts about living organisms before, but this was like a detailed lesson. Biku, Chinnu, Adu, and Ammu ran inside to tell their parents about their adventure in the garden. On the dining table were a variety of food. The four thanked the plant kingdom for the food. Let's give thanks for all the food we eat. That takes us to the end of the story of plants. Thank you for watching. This is Geeta Vijayachandran signing off.
Montessori Grandma.